The biggest offseason question for the Pittsburgh Steelers had been when Aaron Rodgers would finally sign, and now that he's a Steeler, the next biggest question still involves the future Hall of Fame quarterback. Pittsburgh can't be completely done adding talent around Rodgers, right? DK Metcalf was a nice move, but it really just offset the loss of talent in George Pickens. Now, the Steelers should do exactly what some have whispered in recent weeks and continue to whisper: trade for Green Bay Packers wideout Romeo Dew. Having spent time catching passes from Rodgers in Green Bay, Dew is no stranger to his tendencies. And he also impressed Rodgers quite a bit during their time together with the Packers. Rodgers went on record multiple times praising Dew for his wow plays. The Steelers should go all in on a Romeo Dew trade, and it makes perfect sense. Looking at Rodgers' past praise of Dew, this move makes a ton of sense strictly based on that premise. However, if you look at Dew's skill set, it makes even more sense. Dew's ability to make those wow plays would essentially slot right in to take the place of the type of plays we saw out of Pickens. Now, I am not saying the two are of equal talent level, but we've seen some pretty incredible catches from Dew during his days in Green Bay. He has that similar ability to go up and make eye-popping grabs like Pickens would do in Pittsburgh. Both of them are 6'2", 6'3" territory and have that presence as a physical wideout that can impose their will on defensive backs, especially in the case of a 50-50 ball. To trade for Dew likely wouldn't cost much either, as he enters the final year of his rookie deal. The Packers have invested heavy draft capital in the likes of Matthew Golden and Savion Williams, plus they still have to make a decision on Christian Watson. Dew seems more than expendable, and no other team makes more sense than the Steelers. This feels like it's only a matter of time. After just one season in Pittsburgh, former Steelers quarterback Russell Wilson was shown the door this offseason. Steelers general manager Omar Khan turned over the entire quarterback room in 2024, bringing in veteran free agent Wilson on a one-year deal and trading for Justin Fields, who was on the last year of his rookie deal in Chicago. The two split playing time, with Fields starting the first 6 games of the season while Wilson recovered from a calf injury. Wilson took over and led the team to a 6-4 mark, losing the final 5 games of the season, including the wild card loss to the Ravens. The Steelers had seen enough of both, and Wilson was signed by the Giants to become their starter in 2025. But then, New York drafted Ole Miss QB Jackson Dart in the first round. And it appears that, at least early in the offseason, Wilson's starting job is in jeopardy, as insider Ian Rappaport revealed on X. You listen to everything Brian Daboll says, you get an understanding of how far along Jackson Dart is and where you think he's going to go, he said. It's clearly a matter of when, not if. From the insiders on at NFL Network, #Giants QB Jackson Dart has impressed early, and it's not hard to see Coach Brian Daboll is a believer. Now, of course, it's still very early in the process, and the teams have done little more than glorified flag football scrimmages so far, but it should worry Wilson that Dart is getting so much positive attention at this point. The Pittsburgh Steelers still have a need for another wide receiver and could theoretically use another veteran tight end after the loss of Donald Parham Jr. during organized team activities to a torn Achilles, so GM Omar Khan isn't done yet tinkering with the roster. Could that tinkering between now and the start of training camp at St. Vincent College in Latrobe on July 24th involve a reunion with a familiar face? For Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox, it could make some sense as the Steelers have a need, on paper, at slot cornerback, and former Steelers slot cornerback Mike Hilton remains a free agent. In a piece for Bleacher Report, Knox named the Steelers as a logical landing spot for Hilton. Hilton spent his first 4 seasons in Pittsburgh, and the Steelers appear to be all in on the 2025 season after signing quarterback Aaron Rodgers, Knox writes. They should be interested in adding corner depth for the upcoming campaign, and Hilton would be an upgrade over second-year slot corner Beanie Bishop Jr. With the addition of quarterback Aaron Rodgers, it's clear the Steelers believe they can compete this season, so adding a veteran slot cornerback who is proven in the NFL makes some sense, if the Steelers were to go in that direction. They're quite familiar with Hilton, too. He spent the first 4 years of his career with the Steelers, playing in 59 games with 20 starts, recording 237 tackles, 9.5 sacks, 36 tackles for loss, and 7 interceptions. He never made a Pro Bowl during his time in Pittsburgh, but He became a very valuable piece for the Steelers, allowing Pittsburgh to live in sub-package football without sacrificing anything against the run due to Hilton's presence in the slot. After 4 years in Pittsburgh, Hilton went to the Cincinnati Bengals and helped lead them to a Super Bowl appearance, but in recent years his play has declined, and he remains a free agent for a reason entering his age 31 season. Despite having 12 tackles for loss last season for the Bengals, Hilton fell apart in coverage, allowing 41 receptions for 356 yards and 3 touchdowns. Though he wasn't tested down the field much last season, Hilton struggled with the quick-hitting stuff, giving up far too many easy completions as quarterbacks had a rating of 92.0 when targeting him. Landing back in Pittsburgh makes some sense given its uncertainty at the slot cornerback position. But his struggles in coverage and his age makes it very unlikely the Steelers even kick the tires, especially as they continue to develop Beanie Bishop Jr. in year 2 and drafted Dante Kent out of Central Michigan in the 7th round. Veteran free agent signee Brandon Echols is even an option in the slot despite limited experience there, so the Steelers might not have as big of a need in the slot as many make it out to be. While it could be fun to have a Hilton reunion in Pittsburgh late in his career, letting him hunt around the line of scrimmage and attack downhill again, the Steelers shouldn't do that at the expense of Bishop or Kent's development this season. This is the rumor that will not die. Even before Dallas said goodbye to running backs Rico Dowdle and Ezekiel Elliott, rumors suggest the team might pursue Steelers' former first-round pick Najee Harris in free agency, often calling him a perfect match in Dallas. At that time, our Cowboys insider Mike Fisher had a firm reaction. My first response to these sort of hyperbolic reports is that there is no perfect signing, Fish says. Lawrence Taylor wouldn't be perfect. Michael Jordan wouldn't be perfect. And Najee Harris is an LT or MJ. Najee is 28. That's not perfect. He's sort of a plotter rather than being explosive. That's not perfect. And the Cowboys will need to ask themselves this. If Najee is so perfect in 2025 free agency, amid speculation he might get $10 million a year, why did his own Steelers team decline a 5th-year option on his for 2025 at $6.3 million? If Najee is so perfect, why didn't the Steelers do that deal? Now fast forward to a time when we are weeks away from training camp. The Cowboys had a chance to sign Harris, who offered up a strong 2024 campaign, helping Pittsburgh secure a playoff berth while contending for the AFC North crown. He's a perennial 1,000-yard guy, no doubt. But Dallas passed here, opting instead to sign Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders while drafting Jaden Blue. But here we go again. Bleacher Report wants Dallas to trade for Najee. Teams in need of running back help would at least be wise to call about Harris's availability, BR wrote. While he was never a high-level starter with the Pittsburgh Steelers, he was a dependable high-volume back who topped 1,000 rushing yards in all 4 campaigns. Dallas should consider adding Harris as a high-floor option in its backfield. We're lost. Let's go back to Fish, who reflect on this new attempt to connect Najee to Dallas. Najee Harris signed a 1-year $5.25 million contract with the Los Angeles Chargers, who I assume are happy with that as they work him in combo with rookie Amarian Hampton, Fish says. It's a month before camp. Why are they giving up on Najee now? What happened in LA? What changed? And in Dallas? Again, the Cowboys didn't want to sign him for $5 mil when he was a free agent, but now they should both pay him and give up a pick for him? It defies logic. We think, Cowboys Nation, you can take that as a no.